O Great Spirit, O infinite, infinite Lord of stillness, Namaste. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Namaste. O infinite, infinite Lord of silence, thy presence echoing through the universe. Fill us, bless us with thy emptiness. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of all of the bloodlines to whom we honor. The bloodlines, the spiritual lines, the friendship lines, the adopted lines, the marriage lines. Namaste. We call upon thee to bless us with thy wisdom, with thy self-awareness. Om Shri Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasayaji Namaha. Om Shri Teshwarji Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Namaha. Om Shri Satguru Shaliji Namaha. Om Shri Goswami Kriyananda Ji Namaha. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Focusing your attention at the sun center. Watch your breath. Take 3 long inhalations and exhalations, relaxing the body. Namaste. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to my heart. And welcome to our meditation. Once upon a yogi time, in the ever-present now, upon the planet Earth, upon Mother Gaia, there lived a young woman, a Virgo, if you will. And she grew into an adult. Went to school, finished her schooling, and said to Mama and Papa, I want to go out and have my own place and live where I would like to live. Have my own apartment, have my own place. I said, okay, it's time. It's time for you to go into the world. And so she did. She found a very, very beautiful place. She was taken with it. It had a beautiful, beautiful view of the lake in the city she lived. Very petite place, very, very small, very petite. And as she moved in, all of a sudden she was faced with, oh my, I have to pay the rent. Oh, my roommates aren't paying the rent. Oh, I have to get groceries. I have to clean the house. Am I going to have enough money to buy car insurance? Will I have enough money for gas? And the worries started in her mind over and over and over again. And then the politics came in through her thumbs on her devices. And she began to worry more and more and more. And she lost hope. She lost hope. For a little while, she lost hope. One day, she walked across the street to the lake. And the lake was frozen. It was frozen over. It was cold out. It was frozen, very, very frozen. And she was worried, am I going to be warm enough? Am I going to be warm enough, But as she walked along the lake, the most miraculous thing happened. She started seeing from the trees the icicles hanging from the trees. And as she walked along the lake, she started seeing in the grass coming out of the ground why the ice was shimmering. The sun came out and she could see in the cold this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reflection of the sun and the icicles covering, falling off the trees, the ice on the branches of the trees, the ice on the trunk of the trees, the ice sparkling like crystals all over the ground. And she looked down and a tiny, tiny little flower was peeking through the grass, through the ice. A tiny little white flower in full bloom was peeking through the ice and the grass. Oh, how sweet that moment. How sweet that moment. And all the worries about her car, about money, about food, about work, about her health, in that moment, they vanished. The flower was so beautiful. The trees were so beautiful in their nakedness, covered with the ice. It was as if for a moment she was transported to heaven. She went back, she stayed, she walked, and then she went back to her home. And she shared that beauty with her roommates. And they got it, a little bit of it, a little bit of it. They got a taste of what she had. They got a taste of the sweetness that she had. One of them even went out across the street to walk along the lake, to see for himself the beauty. What a blessing she had. In another part of the world, there was a young man leaving his home. And his home had gone through a terrible, terrible, terrible drought. Awful drought. People were dying. People were thirsty. People were hungry. And his parents said, you have to go. You have to go find someplace better. You're young. Just walk. Just walk. Maybe this way will be good for you. So with great sadness, he walks. He gets up very early in the morning and he walks before the sun comes up. And then he finds a place to rest in midday so he does not have to walk. And then as the sun goes down, he walks a little more before the night air becomes cold. Days pass, and the moon goes from new to full. And he settles for the night, and he wakes up, puts his glasses on. He wakes up. The entire desert is lit with the light of the full moon shining upon him, shining upon the hills in the desert. And he breathes in the sweetness. He breathes in the beauty. He breathes in the joy of life upon the earth. His body was tired, it was hungry, it was thirsty, but he was fed by the moonlight. Two twins go. They live near the mountainous range. And they too had to leave their home. They too were told by Mama and Papa, it's time, you must go. And so they went. And they left and they climbed and they climbed. They had to climb to get out of their home. It was in a valley. They climbed up, they climbed, they climbed, they climbed. And as they climbed, the grass left, all the greenery left. There was no water. The rocks were very, very, very harsh. You've seen them before, the dark black rocks that are very harsh when you're climbing. Lots of gravel, making it very difficult to climb. And one twin said to the other, we're alone, we're lost. Who can help us? How can we help? How can anything live up here? We're sure to die. And the other said, we must have hope, we must have hope. Let's just keep going. And they round the corner. And wouldn't you know it, there are these creatures on the side of the mountain. Big, big, big horns, beautiful horns, standing sideways on the mountain that is so high. The creatures are walking on the mountain. Not one, not two, but dozens. And they looked at each other, they said, oh my, it is possible to live here. It is possible to live here. Look, we must learn from them. They are living on these mountains. And they felt the sweetness of the communion of life. They kept walking. And they too looked down. And Morag of Morags, coming up. See it now. See it now. Coming up to the craggy rock, the dry craggy rock. The most beautiful purple flowers you can see. Pale purple flowers. Just coming up through the rock. One here, one there. A little cluster of white a little further along. And the one twin said to the other, ah, how sweet it is. How sweet it is. In the midst of this challenging place, look, there are others living here. And look at the beautiful flowers. The snow was on the ground and the flowers were coming through. That, my beloved, is you. It is me. We walk through our lives and there are times that you're walking through the desert Everything feels like it's dry, like there's no help. Everything feels like it's too hot in the middle of the day and too cold in the middle of the night. But the moon becomes full and shines upon you and blesses you. It could be that you're climbing a mountain, and all of those rocks that happen when you're climbing, all those rocks, when it seems hopeless, there's hope. You just turn the corner and there's hope. When the rocks get in your shoes, when they say, oh, your foot slips, I haven't been paying attention enough, you turn the corner and there are the flowers. There's the beauty. There's the sweetness of life. We must pay attention. We must find the time to pay attention in the midst of the desert, in the midst of the high rise, in the midst of climbing the mountains. Some lives are very smooth, or they appear to you to be smooth. But even in the smooth lives, there are bumps, there are bumps, there are bumps. And some incarnations are more difficult. They are, high and low and high and low, or some really are low and stick along the low round. But it is important to know, to remember for yourself that this incarnation that you are living is the highest and the best incarnation that you've ever had. For it is this incarnation through which you have chosen to learn the lessons that you wish to learn in life, to correct the imbalances which lie within you, not outside of you. It's never outside. It's always within. The young woman, so despondent and so sad and so hopeless and so worried, always worried. On the earth plane, there's a lot of things that one can worry about. And yet she crosses over and she sees the blessing of life, the beautiful, beautiful sun shining down upon the crystals, the crystalline ice. And imagine the young man who's leaving his family because of a drought, and he's going into the desert to find, further into the desert, hoping to find relief, to find help, to find a better life. The scorching sun and the cold, cold, cold nights. But the moon doth appear and bless him. You and I, we need to find those blessings in life, to find the way to attune to the sweetness of life. It's not terribly hard, but it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to forget, my beloved. You walk through your life and karma unfolds, right? Your life gets busy. You have to take care of others. And you forget to take care of yourself. You become so busy with the business of living that you forget to take care of yourself. And then the mind becomes chaos. Or the mind has a veil that slips over it. A little bit like this, right? Yeah. Like this, You can see through it. I can see through it. You can see through it, right? But you don't see clearly. Try that sometime. Take a very thin veil and put it over your eyes to see what you're missing. And then meditate. What are you missing? What do you know but you refuse to see? Because you're so busy concentrating on something else, because something else is so important at that moment. But we must pay attention. And if we slip, fall down, and miss the boat, stumble on the rocks, pick yourself up again and again and again and again, and adjust, adapt. Find the sweetness in your life and keep walking. For the sweetness is found in your everyday life. The sweetness is found in the beauty of our time together today. The sweetness is found in all of the things you can see in nature. The sweetness is found in the voice of your loved ones, in their eyes, in their smiles, in their laughs. And if you will, in the memories of your ones who have gone to the other side, of the feel of their cheeks, of their blessings, of their hugs, of their voices. Take the sweetness and taste of it and be nourished. Taste of the sweetness of life. It is not just the cherries or the strawberries that are sweet in life. It is life itself. Seen within your life, in every moment, the opportunity to say, oh, yes, I see. This is it. This is good. This is good. I am grateful for this goodness. It is too easy for us to be swept away. Too easy to be swept away. You have to get up. You have to go to work. Maybe you're not working, but you still have all the tasks to do around your house. It's work. It's work. You have a lot of effort put into living upon the earth plane. But this place that we have incarnated, you have worked over lifetimes to be able to start your earth incarnation. It is a great blessing you have brought to yourself. I've brought to myself. This is the middle plane. This is the plane upon which you can find enlightenment. The plane upon which you have free will. Not that we use it all the time, but you have it. You have it. I say to myself some days, what were you thinking? I'm thinking you weren't. You were being rushed right by the karma. Now, what needs to be done? One needs to turn in and meditate, which we will do in a moment. But also to take the time throughout your day. And this is not sitting down and saying, oh, I'm going to sit for 2 hours, or oh, I'm going to sit for an hour. No, take your pen and draw. Take your mind and create. Use your creativity, however you wish. Use your creativity. Vow to yourself, I'm going to be creative today. Now, that might mean I'm going to write. I'm going to write 100 words a day, 1,000 words a day, however many you want, 10, whatever it takes. Be creative. Oh, I'm going to draw. I'm going to read a poem. I'm going to write a poem. Maybe I'll arrange some flowers. Maybe I'll make a beautiful, beautiful meal, a beautiful vegan meal with the kale on one side and the squash on another, and sliced tomatoes arranged beautifully, and a few slices of apple or orange, and a grape in the center. Maybe I'll be creative in that way and eat a table that I've made beautifully. Still quiet, peaceful, not a lot of stuff, still quiet, peace-filled. Feed your creativity. Feed it. Walk outside and stop And look at the tree. Look at the ground. Look at the grass. Look at all the life that's growing. Pay attention. Pay attention when you see others. Pay attention. How are they doing? Can you smile at somebody? Just smile at them. It doesn't take you anything to do that. And give some hope to those whom you encounter in the world. What happens today? Well, not that it necessarily happens to you, but it might. And that is that the devices, they take over the life. There's so much to be enthralled with. The online world, which we are very blessed to have today. Don't get lost there. Come back to the ever-present now, the physical reality that you are here in, and find the beauty. But most importantly, you must shift the prism of your awareness. You must shift the prism of your awareness in order to find that beauty. Turn the kaleidoscope so that what you see amidst the chaos is the sweetness. Now, I'm not saying that one ignores the chaos. I'm not saying to forget everything that's going on in the world. I'm saying you need to find the sweetness. Now, there's a special Kriya way that you can do this. It's a mystical truth. That which I want to draw into my life, if I can find that and give it away, give away what I have, then that will grow. And so, if you think about the world, think about the man in the desert with no food, no water, and multiply that by millions of people that are living on the earth in that condition. How can you help? Well, you can do like some of my disciples do. You can get nervous and worried and talk about it. And oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, the world situation is so terrible, etc., etc., etc. I've done it. I've been there. We all have. It's not the answer. The answer is, oh, they need water. I have water. Every time I take a sip of water, I say, as my body is nourished by this water, may their bodies be nourished by the water. Say it mentally, you know. As you eat the food, that was good, very good. As you eat the food, as my body is fed by this food, may all bodies be fed by this food. As you see the flower peeking through the grass, or the sunlight shining down upon the ice, or the moon coming through the skylight. As you feel joy, share it mentally. You stop and say, may all receive this blessing that I am being fed by. May all be fed. May all be healed. May all be nourished. May all have that which they need the most. As you go out into your gardens, you pick out the vegetables from your gardens. It's the same thing. So every act that you do becomes an act of sharing. Every sweetness that you find in your life becomes sweeter when you share it. And how do you share it? is a gift. And as you do this through your day, a little bit at a time, your day will become full, filled with moments. And it's very important that you hear this. It's nanoseconds. It's a little bit. It's a change in your horizon of awareness. Oh, that apple is so beautiful. As I'm enjoying the beauty of the apple, may I give that. May I share that with all of the others. And don't be concerned about who the others are. Just share it. Don't be concerned about whether anybody's going to be there to take it. Trust me, they will. Now, somebody asked me not long ago, there's another practice that goes with this that's very meaningful. When you sit to eat, you take a portion of your food. As some of you know this, you take a portion of the food and you make a little mini dinner, little mini plate. Just put it on the side. You're going to have some nice yum broccoli. You take a little bit of the broccoli and you put it on the plate, further up on the plate. Oh, you're going to have some nice carrots. You put those up there. Oh, there's a nice bit of couscous that goes up there too. And then you eat. But everything that's up in the corner, you're offering to all the others. Or some prefer to leave everything in the center of the plate. I personally prefer to put it up to the side so that, to me, my psychology, not yours, mine, I like to feel like I've made a little special meal that I'm offering, that I'm not kind of eating around it. It's just a psychological thing. But other people I know like to eat around and leave the center. So it's up to you what you're doing. But you're offering part of your food. So somebody came to me a while ago and said, but I'm throwing the rest of it in the garbage. That seems wrong. Shouldn't I eat it? Well, I guess that depends on who you're trying to feed. If you're trying to feed life, if you're trying to feed the other, you can take that little bit of food and where you think it's garbage, this is food that is being eaten by the rest of life. And you say, may all who need it have it. Put it in your compost pile if you have a compost pile. It is your mental attitude, your mental affirmation, your mental offering, your mental work that make the difference. Your Kriya, your sacred action. For Kriya is that, it is a sacred action. And so for those of you who are worried, so worried about what's happening in the world, do something about it. Don't scream. Let go of the emotionality of your mind. Don't get all, oh, the world is coming to an end. That's not helpful at all, ever. It is not helpful. It is helpful to say, what can I do? I want peace, I give peace. I want happiness, I give happiness. I want contentment, I give contentment. I want Ananda, Ananda. Give Ananda, Ananda. So that every beautiful experience you have in your life, you are sharing with life, with all the others, whether they are incarnated on the earth or they are on the other plane. Your sharing makes all the difference. You start to build the sweetness. And in the midst of all the chaos, you will find sweetness. In the midst of the difficulties, you will find sweetness. In the midst of the rocks in the shoes, the hills to climb, the falling down, you will find sweetness. Do not become discouraged. The sweetness will feed you and lift you and lift you and lift you. There is a man, this is a true story, who came to my guru. And the man had a problem with alcohol. And at the time, I was standing next to Kriyanandaji. And a man came to him and he said, well, Prananandi, I just got out of my 32nd rehabilitation program. Kriyananda said to him, congratulations. And he said, I'm so embarrassed. 32 programs I've been in. Kriyananda said, oh, no. Do not be embarrassed. You went back again and again and again and again and again. And he said with the greatest blessing and adhikara that he had, he looked at the man and smiled, the sweetest smile. He said, John, my makeup name, John, someday you're going to stand up and you won't fall again. You will. It may take you one more time. It may be this time, but don't you worry. Just keep standing up. Every time you fall, stand up again and again and again. And I hope that in some way I have shared that, the impression that made upon me. It was one of the kindest, most compassionate experiences that I had, many experiences with my guru like that. But this one, where the man, you could see he was proud, but he was ashamed. Proud that he had made it through the 32nd program, and ashamed that it was taking him so long. And you could see when Kriyananda said that, it was neutralized. It was neutralized. And I will tell you, all these decades later, not very long ago, I met the man, and he hasn't had a drink in a lot of one days. Tens of thousands have gone by. And he's learned to live in the world without the alcohol. Now, you and I, we all have in our life those karmic problems. It doesn't have to be an addiction problem. But we all have a problem, a life circumstance that keeps arising again and again and again and again, that requires that we do something, that we take Kriya, a sacred action, to remedy it, to solve it, to solution it. And so all that I'm trying to say today is the sweetness of life will help you to stand up again, to walk. And you fall, you're discouraged, it's not, and you're turned away here and there and the other place. In time, all will be well. Just get up again and again and again, as best you can. And don't worry about what anybody else says. You do the best you can. Get up. And I'll tell you, some days you get up and you're down on your knees, and it takes both hands and some assistance to stand up. It's all right. Call upon life to help you, and all will be well. So let us join now in a meditation to heal, to uplift, to vivify ourselves, that we might find the sweetness in each breath, the sweetness in the life that we are living. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible for you to take a sacred Kriya, an action, to do something to improve this very, very moment. And so let us meditate. Sitting with your spine erect, your hands in the Om Mudra. Turn your head to the left and exhale twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. Use the sipping breath. Inhale, pulling the energy from the limbs to the trunk. From the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move the energy out in front of you as a golden ball of light. Sweep around to the left, encasing your entire being in golden light. And do this 2 more times. Expand that golden ball of light. And now ascend upward. Ascend at a 45-degree angle, ascending above the room you're in, above the building, above the continent. Ascend to the high, high, high place. And as you ascend, as you reach the high place, see in front of you a path. And at the entrance to the path is your Ishtadevata, your chosen form of the divine, if you will, or the highest good of all of life, waiting for you. Ascend upward. Until you reach a comfortable place that you can sit in meditation. Sitting facing your Ishtadevata, just simply watch your breath. Allow the silence to fill your being. In your mind's eye, see your Ishtadevata. Feel the presence of the divine on this sunlit hill. And as you watch your Ishtadevata, you see a mirror appear, and suddenly the light of 1,000 suns is directed back to you. Thou art that. Feel the radiant life of light divine, the radiant light of life divine radiate back towards you. Clearing away the cobwebs. In your mind's eye. Allow the sweetness of life to flow forth. The sound that is sweet. The images that are sweet. Allow your mind to see the goodness that is part of your life. Open your heart with gratitude, larger than gratitude, awareness of you and the oneness of life, and all of the blessings you have received. Allow the light to radiate towards you from your Ishtadevata. The mirror disappears and the golden light of your Ishta is there, pouring forth its blessings upon you. Feel the light pouring down upon your crown center, filling every cell of your being. The golden dewdrops of Ananda, 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 Ananda. Open your heart, open your sun center, open your entire being to accept the blessings. And let them wash from you the difficulties, the angular karma, the chaos, the chakras, the heaviness, and fill it with light. In your mind's eye, see the light, and let us meditate using the Om Shanti mantra. Send forth our own blessings to life, to the various parts of life, to all of those who need, to all of those in the deserts of life, in the time of life that feels dry and lonely, where there's thirst and hunger of all kinds. May they be fed, may they be nourished, may they be well. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For those whose lives are rocky, the mountains dry and hard to climb, cold and lonely, whatever the reason, may their way be eased and blessed. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For those whose lives are filled with worry and concern, whose path is difficult, for those who have stumbled again and again and again, may they have the strength to get up. May the powers that be pour forth their blessings to make the way easier. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And for all of those whose bodies are ill, or weak, or need to be brought back into balance at any level, the mental, the verbal, the physical, may they be blessed with all that they need. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, Om, Om. Bowing unto thy Ishta, unto the divine, return to your place of meditation. Thank you for your blessings, for joining in this special time. May all of your needs be met. May you be blessed. Thou art blessed. Share those blessings with all of life. Continue to be a blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Namaste. Namaste. And before we go, I want to remind you it is the 4th of December. So that means we have just a few weeks left before the new year starts. Start thinking now about what you want to do next year. Start reflecting, start asking yourself what needs to be different next year from this year. Don't wait until the 2nd of January to begin to reflect, like some of us have done in the past. Namaste, Ji. Thank you for your blessings, your many, many blessings. Shanti.